Hey everyone, Abdul Fattah Muhammad again from Southpole Media Consultants, the author of A Million Stars to Self-Empowerment. I wanted to talk to you today about the third volume of the series itself. And this volume particularly talks about strategies as well as relationships and what are some of the habits or what are some of the steps that have worked for me and made me improve in my relationships, and what type of strategies am I comfortable with in providing those or improving those relationships. And one of the things that we also, the volume, let me take that a step back, uh, because strategies is really in volume 4, so I'm going to backtrack on that. Volume 3 is about relationships and time investments. Uh, Certain time frames that we set for ourselves, how are they properly organized? And if you may consider being diversified, as we do financial planning, and as volume 2 did talk about financial planning and finances particularly. So relationships, what type of relationships are we looking for? Why we're looking for those type of relationships? How do we improve the relationships that we have within ourselves? How do we feel better about ourselves? What are some of the traits that we have that we know are working good for us, and how do we improve the relationship that we have within ourselves, uh, in terms of resources that we have, assets that we have? What are those star components of us that we make them brighter and illumination, or illuminate them to where they will be in our hearts and in our minds as time goes forward, because these same type of stars, traits, ideas, these are the same resources that we typically use to gain better relationships. So that's why this volume does talk about relationships. This volume will talk about what type of relationships I personally find to be most valuable for me. It does not mean that, again, it's what's going to work for everyone, but it has worked best for me. And again, these series want for you to find out what best works for you. And in volume 1, we mentioned being consistent as being a very, very important habit. So not only realizing what it is and improving it, but constantly and continuously making a subconscious effort to improve on that. These are the stars which have gained us much of the relationships, the star relationships that we have with our families, with our loved ones, with our friends, with our affiliates, with our professional settings, with our communities, and so on. The time investments, as I mentioned, how do we program our time? What has worked for me in terms of how I program my time? What has made me balance with my time? What scenarios and examples will the book have in terms of time investment, which is quite different from time management. I just wanted to make that distinction. But it does have some similarities. Hey, if you really want to know what I feel about it, read the book, A Million Stars to Self-Empowerment. As usual, I wish you all the very best in finding what best works for you in your lives, and within your planning process. And please do subscribe below. Please do take the time to evaluate and provide feedback for the series itself. Until next time, see you later, everybody.